Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be talking about 13 Reasons Why Season 3. The show that I started, I remember one of my cousins recommended it to me, and I checked it out, and yes, I stuck with the series. Obviously, up to this point, it took me a while to watch this season. I've been taking it slow, watching a couple of episodes, one or two episodes a day here and there. And yes, I finally finished watching it. And look, I think this season, if you're somebody that was kind of traumatized by the last two seasons because of some of the controversy surrounding, because the show never held back. And obviously in season one, it was the suicide of Hannah Baker. And then in season two, the talk was more about the washroom scene with Tyler, which I did a video on last season, and one of my highest viewed videos. So a lot of people related to that video for sure, what I had to talk about. So this season, I'm kind of happy to say, was a little bit easier to watch. It wasn't as hard. There was no season that could trigger people. There's no scene that could trigger people as badly as the last two seasons, I think, did. So in some ways, even though I was nervous watching the series through, when I look back at it, I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. It was actually more easier to watch. Because this season was more of a murder mystery type of season. We are trying to learn who killed Bryce Walker. And that's one of my problems with this season. First of all, I want to say the cast in this show is terrific. I don't know if I talked about that in the first two seasons when I talked about the previous two seasons. The cast in this show are fantastic. They're a great group of cast, the young cast and the older cast. The parents and so forth. I think everybody does such a great job in this show. And you know what? Even the characters I hate, as much as I hate Bryce Walker and Monty, characters like that, they are really good actors. So those guys do a tremendous job. Bravo to the entire cast. You guys are phenomenal. But I did not really agree with the way Bryce's redemption, if you want to call it, went down this season. I really did feel that the writers were trying to force me an idea that I did not want to believe. Bryce was a monster, and yes, I did hear the behind the scenes thing after the season ended, the beyond the reasons, and I felt like the reasons were a little bullshit, a little bit, and let me explain why. When you watch the first two seasons of Stranger Things, 13 Reasons Why, sorry, you get this idea that Bryce there's just hatred in this guy. There's a monster in this person, no redemption. And then I feel like when they come back to this season, well, let's have the new story arc show a different side of Bryce that people never knew about. And I get it. I understood what they were saying in Beyond the Reasons. I just felt it was a different character I was watching this season. And because of that, because of what happened in the first two seasons was in my mind, I did not fully buy his redemption, his coming around. And in the Beyond the Reasons, the writers or the producers, whatever, were all saying that, he didn't really get to fulfill his redemption anyways because he was killed too early, so we'll never know if he would become fully redeemed. And even though, yes, that's true, there were just moments I just felt it was a little forced at times. Their Bryce's coming around. There were some moments, okay, I could see, because look, when we are with different people, we act differently. But I get it. They were trying to balance, that yes, he is a monster through some people's eyes. Like Hannah Baker's mother returns at one point in the season, but she does not forgive Bryce for what he did, and she doesn't know if she ever will. So they do play around with that side of it, but they also play around with the other side. And the other side kind of, I I don't know. For me, it just didn't work all the time. And Monty was another character that they tried redeeming towards the end of the season, which I'm like, no, no, Monty is a psychopath, and there is no way just because the reason you have to care about Monty is because he's actually gay. He's a closet. He's someone that's in the closet still, and that he's just having trouble accepting who he is or whatever. And no, I thought that was a bullshit excuse to try to turn a psychopath into a sympathetic character. I'm never gonna think that Monty is a good character because he's a psychopath. He's proven that time and time again. And just because he puts a stick up someone's ass doesn't mean he's going, oh, that was me getting my anger out. No, that was him being a psychopath. And when they said he died in prison, I'm going to be honest, I did not feel sorry for Monty. And I know there's people online right now that are like, oh, Monty and Winston, they got together. And look, I don't care, Monty deserved his fate. And some people out there, I guess, I don't know. It's weird. And it's just, man, I don't know how people can forgive evil. Bad people. And maybe that was the point of the season, for us to have these discussions and for us to think about it. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the fact that when we are born, we all start innocent, right? We're just babies, and as we grow up through our experiences and the people around us, that's how we grow up for better or worse, right? I agree with that. I don't know, but when you don't, I guess when you don't see that person as a baby, and I didn't get the abusive side of Monty. I think that's what they were trying to show with his father, that his father didn't really care about him because he did spit in his face when he came out. But I felt it was a little bit too late. I think that was something that they should have shown early on in the season if they wanted us to turn around on him. And look, sometimes, and I'm also looking more for Tyler, who was assaulted by this asshole. So for Tyler, I actually thought Tyler's storyline in this season was great. I loved when he finally opened up to Clay about what had happened to him, and Clay wanted to hug him and all that, and how his friendship with all the other characters started to grow and evolve throughout this season. I thought Tyler's storyline was great. Clay's storyline was great. I even liked the new character whose name is Annie. Annie, I really liked the character of Annie this season. She's kind of like the Hannah Baker of this season, I guess, except she doesn't kill herself. She's actually the new girl in school, and she's hanging out with all these and learning about all these people, catching up with all these people. This is a nice jumping in point in some way, I guess, because you're viewing it from a character's perspective who are learning about these characters for the first time. And yeah, I thought she was a nice add-on to the series. Jessica's storyline became really interesting. She's starting to get back up there and be a strong woman and campaigning for other people that were assaulted. And Justin, I really like Justin and Clay's relationship. They definitely have become brothers by this point and looking out for one another. Man, but yeah, the whole Bryce and Monty thing were the things that really had me conflicted with this season, that I don't know if I could be 100% on board with. Now, some people are also pointing out, what about Tyler? Tyler had a gun. Yeah, but I think what the show was trying to show us is that if we stick up for people and we help them and not encourage them to do bad things, but help them and befriend them, a situation like that wouldn't have happened. Tyler was going to go that way. It wasn't right the way he was going, but he was going that way because no one looked at the signs that were there for them to stop it even before that could have happened. That whole situation could have happened. And that's what I think Tyler's storyline was going, that if you help people and befriend them and just be good to everyone, which is what Clay has always been trying to do. He looks for the best in people. I think that's what Tyler Story was indicating. He could have went in a terrible direction if it wasn't for Clay, and so that I don't think it justifies Tyler's actions, but I do think Tyler's actions are going to be coming back to haunt him very soon, because we saw in one of the last scenes of this season some guns were found in the river. So I don't know. We'll find out. Speaking of things that might happen next season, William, I think the character's name was, the one that Monty was having a relationship with. He doesn't seem too happy. He knows that things were lied about in the investigation, and that might come back to haunt everybody as well, because he might want an investigation done on the truth if he can, if there's ever evidence that comes up. So, and who knows if it ever will? Who knows if next season they'll ever talk about Monty again? I think these characters are always going to come back and haunt them, whether they like it or not. After all, Alex's father seems to be hiding what happened to what his son, how he was involved. It seemed like it. I'm not 100% sure if that's what happened, but it did seem like Alex's father did know what was going on. Speaking of, I don't know if I like the fact that Alex was the one that took Bryce down. I do not know if I liked that resolution. With Jessica there too, I guess kind of as an accomplice in a way. So it just felt, I don't know, it felt out of character a little bit to me with Alex being the one to, like, if it was Zach, I think Zach would have made it a little bit more believable because he did have that temper. And I thought there was a gunshot wound found in Bryce's head. So I guess not, because they didn't show nobody shooting him in the head. So, or unless I forgot that was already covered up earlier in the season. Yeah, look, for the most part, I think 13 Reasons Why Season 3, I think it's a safer season to watch. If you're somebody that was like me, especially in Season 2, getting nervous with that, getting a little triggered over that bathroom scene, even the suicide scene in Season 1, I'm happy to say that this season pulls it back a little bit. It pulls the violence back a bit. So it's not as bad. But if you are somebody that can handle it, definitely this is a easy one. So with that being said, it wasn't a terrible season. It was a season with a couple of questions that maybe are worth talking about, and so that's why I'm putting my review for Season 3 here. Obviously, a lot of spoilers, so hopefully you guys watch the season. I'll put the spoiler in the title up below. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please comment and tell me your thoughts on Season 3 of Stranger Things. And with that being said, until next time, take care. I think I said Stranger Things again, right? Well, 13 Reasons Why. That's what I meant. Take care.